Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah and I have been teaching English as a second language for at least 10 years, face-to-face, online, and now through this channel. This video is different from the usual content that you can see in the channel. First of all, because it's in English, and most of my content for now is in Spanish because I'm trying to teach Spanish speakers how to learn English in a different way. But I have wanted to do something like this for a while, and I felt like, it was the perfect moment to start, using the excuse that it's Halloween season and I want to recommend you things for Halloween. And well, why not do it in English? So it can be a listening exercise for my English learners, and it's also something I leave in the void if anyone is interested, if anyone wants to hear more recommendations to watch. So this is the second video in this series, in this Halloween series. The first one was about books. This one is about movies and TV shows. I'm going to kind of divide the video in three parts. The first one is going to be classics. What is a classic? Well, it's going to be my choice because it's my video, and if you don't like it, then just say it in the comments. Tell me why I'm wrong. But there's going to be classics, then there's going to be more modern movies, and last TV shows, okay? So if you're interested in hearing my recommendations for the Halloween season, just go on. So classics. What is a classic, you ask? To me, personally, is a movie that was made before I was born or something like that, Also, it may be a more recent movie, but it has that classic vibe, okay? So bear with me. And again, as I said before, if you don't agree and you think this movie isn't or that one is, tell me in the comments. The first one I'm going to talk about is The Omen. The Omen, the 1976 one. And yeah, I consider it a classic. First of all, because it's old. And, you can see it in the special effects. But also because it's like, it marks the beginning of a genre that I think has continued through the years. In this case, I think this movie scares me, and it really does. It did when I saw it. Not necessarily because of the plot, not necessarily because of the tenseness or the music, which is really good, by the way, but because the kid is creepy as all get out. It's difficult to have a child actor who can give you the creeps. This one does. He makes me feel really uncomfortable. That's all I'm going to say. And well, I'm not going to give you many details, but I'm going to use what is in the trailer, and I'm going to tell you that this is the story of a couple who have a kid, and everything seems perfectly fine until the kid gets to 5 years old. And after the kid turns 5 years old, things start to happen and everything goes to hell. So if you're interested, just watch it. It's an experience, The next classic I'm going to recommend is The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. This is a 1963 movie, so it's a little bit older, but this is really good. Hitchcock is a master. I'm not saying something like really special or really new or really, no, it's like he's a master. He was a master. And this one is really good. It's kind of based on a story by Daphne du Maurier. And it's about some birds that attack. And it seems like it's kind of absurd and kind of like weird. It gets really tense and really creepy, and you get scared and you get really sucked into the story really quickly. And last in the classics is going to be Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby, by the way, if you this is another, I'm going to probably make a video about this because it's a topic that bothers me to no end. The title in Spanish, instead of translating it, like this, El bebé de Rosemary, which would have been like a really good way, No, they changed it and they actually spoiled the ending with the title. It's perfect. It's like One of those moments when you think, yeah, no, you shouldn't have. But if you are interested, you should check it out. Rosemary's Baby is a 1968 movie, and it's the story of a young couple that live in a really great apartment building, and she gets pregnant, and she starts noticing that things are kind of weird around her, and that her neighbors are not as run-of-the-mill regular people as you may think at first glance. The best part of this movie to me is Mia Farrow. Her performance in this movie is one of a kind. She gives such a powerful performance in such a small way that is just, it's a one-of-a-kind thing that I think everyone should watch. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the regular movies. I'm going to start and finish with a Spanish movie. The first one was released in 1976, like The Omen, so it could fit into the classics there, but I don't think it has the other characteristics of a classic, if you will. And it is called Who Can Kill a Child in Spanish, and it was released as Island of the Damned in the US and Island of Death in the UK. But the Spanish title is a lot better. And the creepiest thing of this movie, and why it scared me so much, and it has stayed with me through the years, is because most, if not all of the action happens during the day in a really beautiful small island near Ibiza, with no clouds in the sky and white buildings and paradise-like landscapes. And yeah, it should, you're going to scare me too during the day. Why? And also kids. Scary kids. Just scary kids. The next one is going to be a Stephen King adaptation, The Shining. I know, again, that his adaptations get a lot of criticism. I know that a lot of people hate them, and I know that maybe formally they might not be the best. I like them. Especially this one. Maybe this is because of Jack Nicholson, mostly because he plays disturbed and complicated characters really, really well. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a really good example of a similar role than this. And the story is the same as in the book, at the beginning at least. A couple with a kid, they go to stay during the winter, taking care of a hotel that closes during winter season because it usually gets trapped by the snow. And they are going to spend the winter there. He is a recovering alcoholic and a writer going through writer's block who thinks that it's going to be the perfect situation to continue his recovery and also start writing again and go back to his regular rhythm of life. And and also on the other side you have his child Danny Torrance, who is the one that has some kind of group of psychic powers that are called, as the title of the movie says, The Shining, that helps him connect with the weird things that happen on the hotel. Next one is not a scary movie per se, but I think it could fit into this category, and in fact many Halloween costumes use this, and that's The Silence of the Lambs. The Silence of the Lambs, based on a book also, tells us the story of Clarice Starling, a young FBI graduate who is assigned a case of a serial killer who is killing women. And one of the things she does, she starts investigating, and she decides to contact a brilliant psychiatrist and, on his spare time, cannibalistic serial killer Hannibal Lecter to help her with the investigation. She develops some kind of relationship with him at the same time as she is trying to find the serial killer and save his latest victim, who he has kidnapped. The author of the book, Thomas Harris, wrote more books about the story. In fact, I think there's a movie for each book, because there's The Red Dragon and then Hannibal, and then there's the TV show. But I think this one is the one that captures the spirit or the feel of the book better. And of course, you've got Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. What else do you need, really? The next one, The Others. This is technically a Spanish movie now that I think about it. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, technically it's a Spanish movie. In fact, it was filmed partly, at least, in Spain. And it's a movie by Alejandro Amenábar, who is a Spanish director. And this tells us the story of a woman, Grace, played by Nicole Kidman, who has 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they move during World War II to the coast, to the English coast. And her kids have an issue, a medical issue that makes them really sensitive to light, to natural light. So she has to protect them from the light. And while there, things start to happen around her, and she doesn't know if it's the servants who are trying to scare her or if it's something happening for real. So that's kind of the premise of the story, and it's pretty claustrophobic. It's oppressing. It kind of makes you feel a little bit of anxiety, and like it seeps into your back, like it makes you feel uncomfortable, and I enjoyed it in that way. That's why I think it works as a scary movie. The next one, okay, hear me out, give me a chance. Pitch Black with Vin Diesel. I know, technically it's an action movie, though I think it was created as a horror movie. I'm not sure, or at least a psychological thriller. And yeah, you might think, well, Vin Diesel, it's action. Yeah, it is, but it's also the premise and the idea. The visuals are really, really good. I think that's the best part, the visuals, and it keeps you tense. And even though maybe the acting isn't perfect, it's not bad. It's kind of it's okay for the story. And well, the story mainly is about a spaceship that crashes into an unknown planet, and Vin Diesel plays Riddick, who is a prisoner, and when the spaceship crashes, he frees himself, and then things happen, and aliens, like creepy aliens, start to appear, and I'm not going to tell you anything else, but it is scary. Just watch the trailer and you'll see more or less what it is about without me spoiling it. And to top it all off, again, a Spanish movie, Pan's Labyrinth. This is, yes, scary, but it also deals with really realistic topics that were happening in my country, in Spain, during the Civil War and post-war times, which are, they're really heart-wrenching and really difficult to watch a lot of the time. And this is the story of a girl, Ofelia. She lives with her mother, who is pregnant, and her stepfather, who is a captain of the Falangistas, of the group that later became the government during the dictatorship that Spain suffered through many, many years and many decades. And her stepfather is there to hunt the Maquis, who are the guerrilla that were fighting the army in the mountains, and they were hiding and all of that. And they were the remains of the Republican army who were still trying to fight. She starts meeting really weird magical creatures who start showing her another world, another fantasy world that is going on at the same time as the story. Oh God, it's creepy. It has some blood and guts and things like that. The acting is just superb. I mean, has many of my favorite Spanish actors and actresses that are really, really good in this movie especially. And it's sad and depressing and kind of disgusting at times. So, just bear in mind that it has a little bit of everything. And now, the final category, TV shows or, series or mini-series. The first one is a little bit older than the others, and that's Harper's Island. I found it by accident many years ago, and this is I think it's 10 to 12, I don't remember if it's 10 episodes or 12, but it is based on a Agatha Christie book. I'm not going to tell you which one, because then I can almost tell you the story, so no. And the story deals with a couple that decide to celebrate their wedding weekend in the island where they met, which is where he lived and she spent her summers. And they invite all of the friends and family to spend the weekend with them. So, you know, people reconnect, people go back, and then the main protagonist, I guess, is Abby, who is the sheriff's daughter who hasn't been in the island for a lot of time. She left after a serial killer murdered her mother, and she abandoned the island, and then she's coming back for the first time in a long time. And, you know, things start to happen when they go there. The thing about it is that it goes through, you know, there's a killer that's killing people. That's the main plot of the story. But the thing I loved about it is that they do things that seem logic. They react as you expect regular logical people to react. And I absolutely love that. Because, you know, most of the time it's like, oh, there's a killer, let's separate. I mean, if you want to die, just jump from the window. Just don't wait, you know. And in this one, they don't do that. They make logical choices and, you know, they make mistakes and things happen, but you can follow their logic. And I really enjoyed that. I really did. The next one is going to be 2-in-1. So, same show, 2 different seasons. The show is really well known, American Horror Story. It has several seasons. There's really only 2 that I can say that I really enjoyed. The first one is season 1, Murder House. It's about a couple with, I think, a teenage daughter who buy a house and go to the house to live, and the house has spirits and weird things happening. And I have to say, all of the seasons are really explicit, and they tend to be really like stomach turning in many ways. So be aware of that if you haven't seen any of the seasons. But this season I enjoyed. Not the best ending, but the development of the story I really, really liked. And the other season that I really enjoyed is season 3, Coven, which is about a school of witches, really, you know. And you hear that and you're thinking, Harry Potter? No, like not even close. No, oh God, no. And yeah, it's really good. I think it's a really good story. I think it's a really good show, though the rest of the seasons, they weren't just not my cup of tea, and that's okay. These are the ones that I enjoyed. And the last TV show that I'm going to talk about is a recent one that I've discovered. And I saw this one, and then I decided that I have to see the other 2 that the same this guy has made, but I need to gather the pieces of my heart that I have lost because it broke in a million pieces while watching this. So when I recover from this, I will watch the other ones. The one I watched is The Haunting of Hill House. Oh God, the show is based on a novel of the same title, and it follows like 2 different timelines. On the one hand, you have a group of siblings that are going through a really traumatic moment in their lives and who are suffering and who are trying to deal with the trauma that they have left, and on the other hand, the things that happened to them in Hill House when they were kids. It's a supernatural story. It is also really scary. It is creepy. The acting is amazing, but also is going to make you cry your heart out in a good way. I know it sounds that I don't recommend. I do. I love it. And again, he has 2 more. The Tragedy of Bly Manor and Midnight Mass. I will watch them one day because I think they deserve my complete attention, but also I need to feel emotionally strong because this one broke me. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy this type of content, just tell me something in the comments so I can know and I can create more like this. I will probably do it anyway because I loved it. But if you want me to talk about any specific topic, or if you want me to recommend any specific genre or any specific type of, I don't know, content in general, just leave it in the comments, tell me, and I'll try to do it as soon as possible. And yeah, I think that's it for today. See you on the next video. Bye.